Welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins. And if you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame College Football. Welcome into the show, everybody. Benji, welcome in. Congratulations to your horns. We're going to get into talking mostly about Oklahoma. So for you Texas fans that are here to gloat, enjoy. It's going to be lots of fun for you, I'm sure. Has Seth been fired yet? What's up, Cracker Mac? Good to see you. Not that I know of, but it should be coming. That's kind of what I'm going to get into. I want to kind of get into everything that I feel like I kind of got in my head on the drive home last night, which was a long drive. It's a long drive whenever you're going through all that in your head and stuff. And, you know, I watched a few other shows and heard a lot of what people were talking about. We were talking about quite a bit of stuff with Coach Ricks as well, who will obviously, he'll be in here in just a little bit too. Possibly have another guy or two popping in also. But for the first 20, 30 minutes, this is going to be me because I'm going to go ahead and get out what I feel like needs to come out. Garrett Bullware, welcome in. Steel Guard 327. Big Finn, Scott Walker. Kyle Dupuis, our boy Kyle Dupuis. I survived. I'm here. Not sure what we're talking about there. If you're talking about Seth, Joe John, whatever. I caught a little bit of what K. Chris and those guys had to say a few minutes ago. I slept through most of the day though, so I missed being on that show. Would have liked to have been on there with them, but didn't make it. So it is what it is. Make sure you guys smash that like button. You know, you're going to get a chance to talk a lot of smack to me for you Texas fans. So, you know, don't be a complete freeloader and not pay for it. Hit the like button. It's free. It is free. All right. Oh, man, I forgot to do this part. So really, let's talk a little bit about kind of what went down in the game and what it feels like for us Oklahoma fans anyway. You gotta feel there's nothing really good to feel about it, especially when you felt like coming in, you probably have a pretty good shot, better defense, offense looking at least partially better than what we saw before with Michael Hawkins at the helm playing quarterback. And then you start off the game with an interception, a couple of other stops right after that. Probably should have at minimum you should have 6 points on 2 field goals. You end up with just 3. Probably could have had as many as a couple of touchdowns out of that, but not with the way this offense was running or the game plan that they had coming in. There's just no way that you could feel good about that. And that's the scary part. That's the part that, as an Oklahoma fan, it pisses you right off. At least it does me. Yeah, it just hurts. That's a good way to put it. Cherry picker, what's happening? We're not running Hawkins out of town. Not happening. No, and timeouts are just for out of fun's sake. But you guys can talk your smack. That's what, part of the reason I'm in here is to let you get it out. And we deserve it. We deserve it. I deserve it. It is what it is. It is what it is. Let me get this this overlay on there. Okay. Yep. Yeah, you can talk your smack all you want. Yeah. This weekend sucked for you. Cowboys lost too. Yeah. See, I feel you. Hankster. What's up, my guy? Good to see you. Good to see you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think at least the 49-0 loss, Steel Guard. At least with that one, you kind of had to be expecting it, kind of, at least, because of the fact that you didn't have a quarterback. You didn't have a quarterback that I mean, we didn't even know anything at that point about Davis Bevel other than he was a third stringer at Pitt. So we didn't have, real big expectations there. But if I don't get to you guys' comments here in the next few minutes, just pay attention to what I'm saying, and I'll get to you. I'll get back to some of them. I'll run through and kind of talk about some of that stuff. What do we got here?
Helio Super Chat, $5. Good Sunday evening, Mr. Jason. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you, Nelio. Good to see you, sir. This is going to be that tough one. This is going to be that one that you kind of ugh. So, yeah, listen, and it happens. And I think congratulations are in order on you guys you went in there and got that win, didn't you? Yeah, I'm pretty sure y'all did, right? I'll tell you, though, the reason, and, this is coming. Okay, let me go back through, and somebody was talking about this. Longhorn Jack says, got to talk your shit now because not feeling good about the UGA game. Yeah. I was pretty sure that Oklahoma was going to make that 2 in a row, but it is what it is. All right, fire Seth and Joe John now. Promote Ken and John's quarterback. Oh, yeah. You're talking the QB coach and probably play calling duties since he has experience. Start kicking the tires and seeing who you want as OC next season. Okay, I'll get into this. I will get into this here in just a few minutes. All right. And this is all kind of part of my overarching feelings of it. And let me just say, yes, those two guys got to go, and they got to go yesterday. I don't think you wait around on this. I know a lot of people were saying that maybe you wait until the end of the season, see how that goes. Theoretically, and by the way, I'm saying this theoretically, I'm not telling you that this is something that I expect. Theoretically, everything is still in front of you. Everything is still in front of you. 2 losses is not the end of the world in the SEC because they're expecting at least one of the SEC championship game participants to be a 2-loss program. You can see it quite easily happening. You've seen teams like Ole Miss lose already. LSU, who ended up winning that game last night? Man, I didn't even notice that. But the way it looks is there's a lot of parity within the SEC. You've got some teams that are going to be right on par. Whether Ole Miss won or not, that would go a long ways towards me believing that they're anything whatsoever. But I would just tell you that theoretically, at least, if you could turn this around even a little bit on the offensive side, this defense is good enough to get you maybe to win out. That's a lot. That's expecting a lot. It's not something that I actually expect, but at least you could flip it to the point that you know that you've got some good things, good vibes going into next year. Because right now, if you leave things as the status quo and you don't have certain guys that are playing, then you're in trouble. I think you're in trouble throughout your roster. I think you're in trouble with your donor base. I think that there's a lot of things that are going on. Okay. Garrett. That's hilarious. Your morning Bevel is now a morning Littrell. Attaboy. Well done. But yes, this is precisely correct. Fatty, thank you for that. In the end, like I said, am I expecting them to make a playoff run? No. Theoretically, you still could if you could find a way to flip this thing around and get some sort of a plan moving forward. We know about the 5 guys that are missing out of that receiver room. Starting to hear things that I don't like hearing about whatever's going on with Deion Burks. Okay. Those are unsubstantiated rumors as far as I'm concerned. But if you're hearing them enough, chances are at least it's out there, right? So whatever's going to happen is going to happen. All right. 8-4 is probably a really good record at this point, Stephen G. But I would also just say, again, welcome into the show, Kimberly, Garrett, Jimmy Satterfield, Kyle DePuis, our Moosehead. What's up, my guys? Glad everybody's in here. Welcome to the show, Miss Kimberly. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, look, here's what I look at it. The more I thought about it as I was headed in last night, there's a bunch of things you have to take into consideration here. All of it points back to me to Seth and Joe John both got to go. And I got love for both of them. They're Sooners. When you're a Sooner, you're always a Sooner. You're a Sooner for life. I had a hard time with the way things went down with Leb last year. I thought it was not cool the way he was kind of treated after a game, which was in the pre-conference part of the season, over the whole deal with Art Briles, which I still would tell you is trash. Now, one thing I would say is
Longhorn Jack Super Chat, $9.99. I gotta give you a super chat cause I was a bit of an asshole in a few of your past videos. A little too much sauce. I apologize.
You're the man. No worries. Appreciate the super chat, man. All good. I talk shit a lot. It's all good. It's part of this thing, right? This is part of it. And I got to tell you, walking out of the Cotton Bowl yesterday and back to the car, fun walk, let me tell you, fun walk. I grinned and bared it as there was a few people that noticed me. They recognized who I was from Texas. So, that was both funny and, you kind of grin and just take it because it is what it is. I mean, we do the same thing back and forth. We all talk a lot of shit. This is the beauty of a rivalry, right? It doesn't have to get completely out of hand. Sometimes it does, but it is what it is. And I don't take any real, malice from it for the most part. I think there are a few people that are a little too much, but it is what it is. Again, we all talk that trash. Yeah. As far as the Burks rumors, yeah. And okay, so right now these are rumors, and maybe they're true, maybe they're not. I don't really care. That's the point. The point is that if that is the case, then what do you think it's going to get like if you continue to do things the status quo? Because if he's leaving, from what I understand, if he's not as hurt as everybody thinks he is, and I'm not saying I believe this, but let's just say that is the case. If you continue to run things the way you're running them, it does a few things, but one of them is that you show those players that might be on the fence on whether or not they're going to return or not. Because again, with the transfer portal, you don't have to. You can get in that portal and you can go to any other program that you want to, including in the SEC. The only restrictions on going from SEC school to SEC school is during the spring portal period, which may be going away, by the way. So I don't know if we've really recognized or paid a whole lot of attention to this, but this is your opportunity as a coaching staff, as a program. Now you're on the clock with your current team you're recruiting. We talk about this all the time. You're recruiting your current team at all times. Defensively, I would feel like most of those guys should be in a good place, right? But I think even there, you've got to see something that tells you, okay, all this hard work and all of our dominant ways is being rewarded because they're going to put some semblance of an offense out there that has any kind of plan, that can keep us in games at least, that if we're going to be dominant, at least they can come in and score whenever we give them a short field to work with, as they did yesterday. That's just really all that is. And yeah, look, do I think that there's some of the guys that, you don't care about them leaving? Sure. But I don't think that that's the attitude that you can take as a coach at Oklahoma. And particularly when that comes with Brent Venables. Whether it's real or not, Coach V has given the impression, at least to a lot of people, that it was a lazy hire of Seth Littrell and Joe John. Lazy hire, Should have just, you should have really done that national search. You didn't take any amount of time before announcing it. It didn't feel like you were, we heard some that you were testing, at least slapping the bushes, seeing, gauging interest in certain places. Brennan Marion, guys like that. Doesn't sound like any real conversations really happened there. It sounds like the only conversations that were happening were between him and Seth, Joe John, and then it feels like, well, our boy up at K-State, right? Which I would have probably rather seen. That's easy to say though right now, right? That's easy to say right now. But when it came to Matt, at least he had a job as a head coach and didn't lose. He didn't lose that job at Tech because they were just trash, right? That's not, something else was going on there, and it is what it is. But at least they were winning. He had a winning record both years that he was there. He took a team that was, Cliff Kingsbury left in trash, trashy all the way around. He took that team and was able to do better things, obviously. Matt Wells is who we're talking about, obviously. But I would just tell you that, and I like him. I think Matt Wells is a really good coach. I don't know what exactly was going on with them because it's not something that they talk about a ton coming out of Tech. But I do know that there were some differences between himself, Kirby Hockett, those guys there within the athletic department, that it sounded irreparable. But I don't think it had anything to do with X's and O's or anything like that. I think that this is an X's and O's failure, complete failure, and a lack of ability to have, to me, a pair of balls of calling plays. You got to have a pair of balls. And I don't think they got two between them whenever they're figuring out this damn game plan. And that's a problem when you have a defense that is all nutsack. We're going to go after you. We're going to bring it from every direction. We're going to make sure we shut you down and turn you over. When you have that kind of a mentality on the defensive side of the ball, you better have that kind of mentality on the offensive side of the ball too. And that's not what we see. That is not what we see. Now, as far as Bill Bedenbaugh is concerned, and as far as any of the rest of the coaching staff on the offensive side of the ball, I don't think that you need to fire them. I think that what you have to do is you have to leave it up to the next offensive coordinator, whoever that may be, to make that decision. I would consider that most of these guys would absolutely take Bill Bedenbaugh as their offensive line coach, because as we kind of talked about with Legend the other night when we were talking to him, there's any number of SEC schools, Alabama included, that would love the opportunity to put him on their staff. Any coordinator would be happy to have a guy like that on their staff. In the end, you still have to leave it up to whoever that new coordinator is. Myself, here's my thoughts. What I would do is they'd both have been gone last night, period, plain and simple. They'd have been gone. And either I make Big Bill the interim guy or I make Emmett Jones the interim guy. Probably Emmett. Because if you make it Big Bill, then, he's probably going to, and he may anyway, but throw his hat in the ring for the coordinator position. And then if you don't give it to him, he's definitely gone. I know for sure he wants to be at Oklahoma. He could have left with Lincoln. They've still been trying to get him to go with Lincoln since he left. Now, we all know that him and Lincoln didn't always get along, particularly that last year. He loves where he is. He's turned down Saban at least once that we know of, maybe twice. I think on the way before Flood got hired there and after he left. But listen, if you really want somebody said we got to make a splash hire. if you really want to make that splash hire, it has to be with a guy like that is allowed to bring his own staff and, you know, keep and let go of whoever the hell he wants. That's what you got to have. If you're going to make a splash, a Brennan Marion, the guy that I keep talking about, well, there's a couple of guys that I continue to talk about, but any of these guys that are out there that you know are really good at what they do, right? You got to look at it in terms of a guy like, say, Garrett Riley or Lincoln. If he ends up not, nobody's hiring Lincoln Riley, just so we understand that. And I don't even want to talk about shit like that. But if a guy like that was out there, say Phil Longo, or say Ryan Grubb, who was the OC for Caitlin DeBoer at Washington and pretty much everywhere else he was at, you know, a guy like that is going to want to bring their own staff in and do it their way. So you let them do it. That includes letting DeMarco Murray go. That includes, if you had to, letting Bill Bedenbaugh go. I think that you would probably want to vet that out, and that would be part of your decision of, okay, we're going to let you bring your own staff. Would you be willing to keep one guy from this team, Bill Bedenbaugh? If it's a no, okay, maybe they're in, maybe they're not, but that's got to be part of your decision as a program to make that choice. In the end, and I didn't say that Garrett Riley would leave Clemson either. I'm just giving examples here, guys. I'm just giving examples. All right. In the end, something has to happen. And again, we're getting away from the point of the whole deal, is that you've got to have a coach in here that fits what we're talking about. A guy that players can look at and be like, oh yeah, I want to play for this dude. They can look at the film. They can listen to what he has to say and what he's done and say, oh, yeah, dude, I want to play for this guy. Think of Zach Alley as an offensive coordinator instead of defensive coordinator. Immediately, everywhere he's been, and he's been at, 3 different programs in the last 4 years, I guess it is. He was at Boise State. He wasn't the coordinator there. I think he was the special teams guy.
Cowpoke Ranch Super Chat, $2. Mike Gundy would be a great OC for you all.
Shut up, Cowpoke Ranch. Stop it. You don't even get that. Don't even throw that last name out there, because that's the next thing we're going to hear. Shush. The best OC from the Big 12 is who we should be after. Okay. Who is that in your mind? Jimmy. All right, you guys, I'm gonna quit reading the comments for right now. Let me finish what I had to say. Here's the point. I think that what you're looking at is a situation that, again, I don't think it's a defensive problem. And I don't think it became a defensive problem yesterday either. You're talking about a team that went out there and in the first quarter gave up a total of 13 yards. 13 yards and had a turnover. And you have a 3-0 lead. You proceed to go 9 straight 3-and-outs. 9 straight 3-and-outs. And you add in some turnovers at the end of the first half. Down 21-3. I mean, and okay, is 21-3 completely out of it? No, but it's not good. And considering the fact that we just, 4 touchdowns in the last 3 games or whatever it is. Not good. So it didn't look like a good comeback situation for Oklahoma. And then you have to look at the fact that why do you have to let go of these guys? Because, dude, we're looking at a bunch of guys that Emmett Jones, we love Emmett Jones because he's recruiting studs, right? But of these studs, which one of them which one are we utilizing the way you feel like we should? Who thinks that we're utilizing Taylor Tatum the way we should? Who thinks we're utilizing a guy like Ivan Carrion the way we should? He's 6'6" and runs a 4.5. was a touchdown machine in West Texas. I know it's high school football. It's Texas 6A high school football, and he was unbelievable. He was also fifth in the state track at hurdles. State track 6A. Let me tell you, those dudes are fucking fast. For you to be in the top 5 in the state of Texas 6A at any event at state, you're a stud. Why is it? He's played in 2 football games, guys. 2. We're not putting him in a situation where all 5 of your top guys are out. All 5. Guys like Zion Kearney, he played a little more yesterday. I don't feel like he's gotten a real good, fair shake at getting opportunity to get in the game. He's another big body guy, 6'3", 6'4". Zion Reagans, love him. Little small. But, he's the kind of guy that, you could stick him in the slot and he can do some great things. We saw him running open a lot yesterday. You can hide in there in certain areas and you're going to blow by people if they don't see you right away. Not getting in the football. But in the end, all of these guys that we were excited about them when they recruited them. But then all of a sudden, you don't get to see them on the field. And for what reasons? We don't really know. You hear, well, this guy can't block, or this guy isn't doing this or that or whatever. Maybe he's not having a lot of symmetry with Jackson Arnold. Okay, well, if he wasn't having symmetry with Jackson Arnold, okay, that's fine, because Jackson Arnold isn't your quarterback right now. Let's find out. I also said a lot of times, and I'll say this again, to me, some of these guys aren't always great practice players. Some of them are, some of them aren't. But I've seen a lot of great practice players, and let's say these guys that are playing a lot are having great practices. What the shit are they doing in the games? Because I didn't see a lot of guys getting separation yesterday. And the ones that were, it was coming later than you had time for, because this Texas defensive line was getting after their ass. Not with blitzes, with just a regular ass pass rush. Texas is definitely a little ways ahead when it comes to a lot of this stuff. Not necessarily on the defensive line side. Offensive line, they are. Defensive line is good, but Oklahoma's got a great defensive line too. But it's questionable whether you keep all this together on the defensive side if you don't find some semblance of an actual fucking offense on the other side of the ball that can support the defense. Before, it was all offense, no defense at all. You didn't have a defense supporting your offense. Now we've just flipped the fucking script to the other side of it. And this is where Coach Venables comes in. I love Coach Venables as much as I know all you guys do as far as Oklahoma fans are concerned. Maybe not all, but a vast majority, at least, of my audience. I am a fan. I think he's recruited great. I love the message that he's sending out there and what they recruit on, which isn't just an NIL package. They're recruiting on personal relationships, growing you into a man, all that kind of stuff. I've heard this from parents myself. I heard this from parents myself yesterday.
T-Boomer Super Chat, $1.99. From here on out, Tatum and X need all the touches.
Thank you for the super chat there, T-Boomer. Appreciate it. Again, I'm going to continue on. Look, in the end, it's not just these offensive guys that you're looking at trying to keep, which, it is what it is. If DeMarco was to get let go of by the next guy or whatever it may be, or even if you're of the opinion that let him go now, you probably lose the running back class coming in. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. So what? DeMarco isn't, in my opinion, I don't see what we're getting. Which running back has done anything since Eric Gray left? And Eric Gray, he is what he is. But I don't really look at him as one of those folks that you just got to keep around. Because, And I love DeMarco as a Sooner. He's a Sooner again. But this is where you start getting into those. They're tough conversations when you're doing this with other Oklahoma guys that they either played there or they went there, whatever the case may be, is that now you end up burning the bridge when you shouldn't have burned the bridge because they're just not the right person for the job necessarily. And I'm not necessarily saying that that's the case when it comes to DeMarco. But again, I'll tell you that I don't understand his rotation. I didn't understand his damn rotation last year when you had Tawi Walker, who you were lucky enough to get as a walk-on. And every time he's in the game, he gets you 5, 6, 10 yards, makes a big play. And by the way, if you haven't noticed, 7 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks at Wisconsin. Why was he not playing more last year? Why are you putting Javonte in when he hadn't played in a month instead of Tawi in Bedlam? Why are we not seeing more of Taylor Tatum? I know he fumbled the ball yesterday. I get it. Whatever. Why are we not seeing Xavier Robinson? You haven't played him. You could play him in the next 4 games and find out if, whatever's going on and see if he's ready. They hadn't done it. Why not Hicks? Caleb Hicks was highly sought after coming out of Denton Ryan. Big dude, looks the part coming off the bus is what everybody says, right? Nothing. We ain't seen shit out of him. Sam, look, the guy had 1,500 yards last year for a reason. I don't care what division it was in, what school he was at. The times that we've seen him, he'll break off a big run. He had a nice return yesterday. The guy seems to have field vision, which is a certain consideration, considering I haven't really seen that out of Gavin Sawchuk and at times Javonte Barnes this year. Something's wrong. Maybe it is just these coordinators. Maybe what they're doing doesn't fit anything. But the point is nothing that's going on this offense is a good fit right now. You're one of the last teams in FBS in offensive production. You weren't doing it with a 5-star quarterback that won Elite 11. You're not doing it with a guy that should have been a 5-star, but was a little under-recruited, has every bit of the arm that the 5-star that won the Elite 11 has, is faster, and works with Kyler Murray's dad. And it's not getting done. What the hell are we doing? The guys have got to, and look, again, love Seth, love Joe John. They are Sooners through and through, studs during their day. They don't got it right now. They don't got it. And when you make the hire that you make as Brent Venables, you have now put yourself in a position of, does this guy understand what it is to be a head coach? Because to me, Bob Stoops doesn't, maybe Stoops is a bad example. No, it's not. He doesn't just make a hire to make it because they're a former Sooner. He makes a hire because he knows it's going to add. Look, when he made the Lincoln Riley hire, that was tough. He had to get rid of Josh Heupel to do it. They went and got that guy. He felt like it was the right thing to do. And, look, in hindsight, we can say it was a great hire because they continued on, but he also didn't really know what it was to be a head coach. There were some things that went on with that. The head coaching side of it, I'll still tell you, Lincoln is not a head coach. I think he's proving that more and more all the time. Just because you won in the Big 12 and at OU, when you had everything set up for you perfectly, we can see without that amount of runway built up for you at USC, because he didn't have that, it falls apart pretty quick. You got to have more, and they don't have it there. In the end, it was a great move by Bob Stoops. If you think about guys like, let's just talk about Nick Saban. He made tough decisions and hired guys that you wouldn't normally think of hiring. In fact, he became known as the rehab there in Tuscaloosa because he went and got fired, failed head coaches that were good at what they were doing and brought them on as coordinators, and it worked out very, very well. Lane Kiffin, Sark, A lot of these guys, Mike Loxley, they've all moved on into good positions and done pretty well. I mean, if you know what Maryland was before Loxley got there, you know that he's done a good job. Okay? These guys are out there. Tim Beck. Why nobody's getting a hold of this guy, I have zero understanding for. He was at New Mexico State. They found a way to go in and win at Auburn from New Mexico State. If you know New Mexico State, that is ridiculously good. Now he does it. They beat Alabama at Vanderbilt. Now, I think a lot of things happened to help transpire and conspire to beat Bama that week, right? Coming off a win over Georgia. They're waiting on their game with Tennessee. A couple weeks down the line, they're looking ahead a little bit, right? They're looking ahead a little bit. That being said, you got to find a way. You got to find a way. And this guy found a way that first, you have a quarterback that he's not the greatest passer in the world, Diego Pavia, but he can throw it. What he's good at is just being a dog. He's a winner. Kind of reminds you a little bit of Baker Mayfield. Now, Baker could throw it better than Diego does, but Diego can run it better than Bake does. Bottom line is this is a guy that isn't stuck on any certain system. He's going to do what works for his team. He's going to do what works for his players, the guys that he has in the room. At Vanderbilt, the best thing they could do was bring in Diego Pavia from New Mexico State. He's just a winner. This is a team that has a chance to end up with a winning record for the first time, and God knows when. They play for this guy. Right now, you're not playing for this guy. You're playing for Venables. But if you feel like, I saw people saying this, that, you can't do that. You got to wait it out. And he shouldn't fire these guys during the season because, that's not fair to them as former Sooners. No, to hell with that. The only people that Brent Venables owes a damn thing to are those players on that team. That's it. You made promises to them and their parents that you were going to do what's best for this football team. What's best for this football team is to get rid of that coaching staff on the offensive side. The head, at least, of those guys. Now, I'm of the belief that Emmett Jones could be the guy for the position. But I don't know that unless you make him interim coach and let him show us that that's the case. We know he can recruit. Can he coach the X's and O's side? I have no idea. I'd love to know because I love the way he recruits. There's one guy in the country that's been recruiting better than him. One. When it comes to receivers, the guys being hurt, it is what it is. These things happen sometimes. But if what we're hearing is true about Nick Anderson, if what we're hearing is true about Burks, who else is next? Who's next? You got to find out. Your only job as for Brent Venables is to make sure that you're doing what's right for your football team. That everything that your defense is doing, because we love you for building the defense that you built. But how do you think Danny Stutzman feels this morning, knowing that he came back for this? To get embarrassed in the Red River game by your rival, and to go out there and play as good as you've seen the defense play at this school in 2 decades, and still be losing football games that you feel like you shouldn't lose. Not saying anything bad about Texas, but you had an opportunity there to get a big lead while Quinn was knocking the rust off. And then the next thing you know, it's 21-3. You can't have it. You can't have it. Don't tell me that Hawkins ain't the right guy for the job. We should have went back to Jackson Arnold. No, you shouldn't have. That would have been a bad decision. The decision to pull Jackson Arnold, by the way, wasn't a freaking spur of the moment, let's do this right now against Tennessee. That was weeks coming. Weeks coming. Everything we'd seen out of Michael Hawkins up until yesterday was positive. All of it. Did it catch up to him a little bit? Yeah, it did. Did he play well? No, he didn't. Do I think it was all his fault? No, I don't. The guy didn't have time to throw the damn football. And he didn't have time. Faster, quicker, more ability to get out of harm's way than Jackson by a lot. And we wanted to throw Jackson in there? No. Why would we want to? I get that a lot of people aren't sure that we should have pulled the plug on that just yet. I think that was the only decision they could have made at that point. That being said, if you do that again and go back to him, now you just lost Hawkins. So even if you think you were going to keep Jackson around, you weren't. I don't give a shit if he comes back in. They have zero say in what's going to happen moving forward. Jackson Arnold is history. Gone at the end of this season. It won't matter who the hell they hire. It won't. If you do that to Michael Hawkins and don't let him work through all of this as a true freshman quarterback, then he's gone too. Bad idea. That's my opinion on it. We got Kevin Sperry coming. He can't hold a candle to Michael Hawkins. That's why. He can't. And you think we have Kevin Sperry coming. You don't make the right hire and find the right guy, you don't have him coming either, possibly. You think that all of a sudden nobody's going to know who he is when he's at Denton Guyer lighting it up right now? Because more people will know who he is now. And I know that he's in love with Coach Venables, but his parents have to look at that as, okay, they're not making the right hire here. Is he even going to be here by the time it's Kevin's turn? And you're going to sit there and tell me, Christopher Shannon, you make me crazy sometimes because you're saying things that don't make a lot of sense. Look at what's going on with having brand new starters right now. We want to do that. We're going to roll the dice and go with another brand new freshman. Come on, man. Come on. Or go get a guy out of the portal that has failed somewhere else and we're going to take a chance there. Come on, man. It doesn't make sense. Nobody was going to do any better yesterday than what Hawkins did against that defense that was bringing heat the way they were, that you didn't even have a second and a half to get the ball off. People said, well, he was missing streaking guys going down the field wide open. Yeah, by the time they got open, he was already running for his dear life. It didn't have shit to do with Michael Hawkins yesterday. You guys have to look at everything, and it didn't start there. That's not where it started. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. In the end, Shawty, I'm not. You're still on this. Please go back and watch the entire Tennessee game, please, and go back and watch the games before that. Before you tell me that Hawkins is that they need to go back to JA. Come on, bro. Come on. I don't get it. I don't understand where you're even going with that shit. That was a decision that was made, not in the spur of the moment. It was made in the weeks leading up to that where he looked like hell. He wasn't processing the information. He was looking over his shoulder. Because why? Because Hawkins was actually getting this shit done in practice. And he came in and gave them spark immediately and has shown that he can get stuff done. You haven't seen it. You didn't see it out of Jay. And I'm not even saying it's Jay's fault, because it isn't Jay's fault, by the way. But you can't, to me, if you think that's a mistake, okay, great. Let's say that's the mistake. It's already been made. Jackson doesn't come back no matter what. Guaranteed, end of story. He's gone. Now you're going to make that same mistake again a second time with a guy like Michael Hawkins. Why? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Hawkins was running after his first reads because the wide receivers were not able to get open, which this is true. This is what happens when you're on practice squad wide receivers. And they're not all practice squad wide receivers, but they're guys that they don't have experience at all. They've just got into the program. I don't know I keep going back to Ivan Carrion. I don't know what's going on there. I've heard one time that I've heard one time that maybe he dropped a couple of balls in practice that came from Jackson Arnold. They didn't seem to be on the same page kind of thing. Okay. Well, Jackson's not in there. Maybe he's on the same page with Michael Hawkins. I don't know. You know what? I want to find out. The dude's 6'6" and runs a 4.5. We need big bodies out there. He's not even getting opportunities. Now, I don't know why this is. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm in the damn room with them, because I'm not. It's a question I have, though. And if you are watching all these other guys, and you're watching a guy like Jacoby Johnson coming in from the defensive side of the ball to become a receiver, and they're still not giving guys like Ivan Carrion an opportunity, that makes you wonder as a parent, what the fuck am I doing here? I'm just saying. It makes me wonder. The offensive line, okay, it hadn't been great. I don't know that was necessarily the case. It wasn't great. Yesterday, you were going up against a monster of a defensive line. Much better. If I made a mistake this week, it was talking about that defensive line at Texas. They're real. It's a real deal. They won their battles a lot. Now, are we just going to do that knee kick or that knee jerk reaction and say that's a Bill Bedenbaugh problem? I'm not. I'm not. But I'm sure you can. You got to run the football. You got to be able to do that. Running the ball should be the easier thing to do. And here's the other news flash. This is another part of the problem, folks. They ran the ball very well early on off the edges, and they had plenty of push. And all of a sudden, they stopped doing it. They went back to the RPO. Why? What was the point? We could talk about players all day long. That's not what I'm here to talk about, to be honest with you. I don't care who it is. Coach Venables made a mistake with Seth Littrell and Joe John. It was a lazy hire. He didn't take the amount of time or put the amount of effort in that to make that decision that he should have. And it shows. Because I think that there was at least a few people, even among Oklahoma fans, that love Seth Littrell and Joe John Finley and should. These guys were studs at Oklahoma. Great players. That don't mean shit when it comes to coaching. And there were at least a few people that were like, why are we making this choice? I think Matt Wells was a better decision. He was. He's proven more as a coordinator, as a head coach. He was killing it at what was it? Utah State? Nevada State? No, Utah State. They were killing it. That's why he got the Texas Tech job. What happened at Tech had nothing to do with what they were doing with the players. They were winning games. They had a winning record. They fired him with a winning record. That had something to do with him and Hokett and the rest of whatever was going on in Lubbock. I'm not going to act like I know all of that, because I don't. But it didn't have anything to do with his coaching ability. And they didn't. And I don't even know that he was necessarily the guy for the job. But he was better than the one they chose. You know, Matt ends up going on to K-State, and they're doing well, very well. And they did the same thing. They let a veteran quarterback leave and brought in the new guy, and he's making it work. Hey, Stop deleting messages there, Cherry Bear. You don't need to do that. At this pace, my channel won't survive till the end of the year. I got 5 on it. Is that right? Why is that? Why won't it last till the end of the year? Am I dropping subs as we speak? I don't give a shit about that. I'm going to say what I want to say. This is my fucking channel. I'll say whatever the hell I want. I built this channel saying whatever the fuck I want. The truth is the truth is the truth. Is this one of your trolling questions here, Shoddy? Are they still on pace? They're not on pace if they don't get to keep any of these dudes around. They're not on pace. I think that's the main reason that you have to make this. You got to make the move, guys. Big Bill installs the blocking schemes according to Seth's plan. Seth is the one constantly changing shit week to week instead of improving on what they do well. That's a fact. Don't erase their guys. Do not erase these guys' messages. Leave them in there. If I want them out for saying something, I'll tell you. The Hook'em boys. Yeah, I could care less what you're talking about, though, when it comes to the OU coaches being dumb because they won't start Casey. Casey's not – I don't think that you have to start Casey. I wouldn't care if they did, though, in a certain situation if that was the case, but I don't think that that's where you are. I don't think that's where you are. I think the problem is that you haven't had the right game plan at all this season. And if you're going to make the move to Michael Hawkins, which whether you want to admit this as a Texas fan or not, or whoever you may be a fan of, that he's done well, he has done well. He came in and gave them spark immediately on a team that had none. And without the same receivers, without the guys being healthy, the O-line playing the way that it should, he did that through all that shit too. When Jackson couldn't. Casey has 2 rebuilt knees. You think it's good to put him in there in a situation where you have 0 time? I don't. And I like Casey. I'll stand here and tell you that I was one of the people against bringing him in. That was wrong. That was wrong. I'll take that. But yes, okay, he needs to go with a good OC. Absolutely. You have, but in order to keep people around, to keep the kids around, because right now your job is to keep this football team engaged. And you're sending the damn signal if you let these guys go right now that, you know what, we will always fight for you, the player, first. Both defensively and offensively. We want you guys to get better, so we're gonna shake this up. We are gonna get Seth and Joe John out of here. We want a new voice in that locker room, Emmett Jones. Let's do that. Let's see if he's that guy. Because if he can give you the spark, then maybe he is. I don't know. We've never seen him as a coordinator. You want to find out because he recruits very well. Or if you want to make it Big Bill, that's on you too. I still wonder why he hasn't been really offered a coordinator position elsewhere. Offensive line coaches make good coordinators, man. They do. In the end, you have to make a move right now. You don't wait till the end of the season because that shows that as a head coach, you're willing to throw the fucking season away now at the halfway point. You got 6 more. You can't do it. You can't do it. If you think you've lost players now, wait till the next 3 or 4 games go by and you're doing the same shit. If you don't make this move, then you have to start questioning Brent Venables on whether or not he does have the ability to be a head coach and not just a great defensive coordinator. And I hate saying this, by the way, hate it. But these are the hard decisions that head coaches make for the betterment of their football team, their program, not because they want to keep their friends. Yeah. All right. We are going, we've been going close to an hour now. Still waiting on Coach Ricks to get in here. I don't know. I don't know about this easy money. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you what they're going to do. BV's not protecting Seth. He's deciding on what he's going to do. And he doesn't have to tell us the day after the game. I'm sure he wanted to give it a day to sit on it, talk to Joe C. I mean, we got all the answers from here. We got all the answers from here. Hold on real quick. Where you at, Coach Ricks? I don't think they're starting to quit. I think they ran out of gas. They were on the damn field too much in the first half. Way too fucking much. Stop it, Kyle. They did not fire Brandon Marion. Did they? Are you joking around or what? Okay, yeah, that's funny. That's fucking funny. No, that was funny. Come on. That was funny. I'm good. I got the joke there after that. That was funny shit. And look, we need to have some fun with this, okay? What's Mike Mangino up to? Seth? Hey, Seth, man, good to see you. And been a while. Man, Mangino was that guy. I wouldn't say that. And Kevin Wilson. Somebody brought up Kevin Wilson yesterday. Ledger brought up Kevin Wilson yesterday. K. Chris brought up Kevin Wilson. I don't know that he's willing to make the move, to be quite honest with you. He was the offensive coordinator at Ohio State. Good job with Tulsa. So no.
T-Boomer Super Chat, $4.99. It's time to let them go. We've seen all we needed to see. Man face bombing.
Nah, dude, you're not wrong. Where's the Super Chat at? Oop, there it is. Any chance he falls on the sword stat? No, there's not. Shouldn't be. There shouldn't be a shot at that. I mean, I guess so. I guess there's a possibility of anything. Hold on a second. Okay. Coach will be right in here. Stat guy says, what's BV's relationship with Littrell? Don't know if they have a history. Any chance he falls on the sword for him? No chance. They have a history that he was coaching whenever Littrell was here. Littrell was part of that 2000 team. He was a captain on that 2000 team. There's love there. There's respect there. And Littrell wasn't necessarily a bad take when it came to when you bring him in as analysts like they did, all that kind of stuff. He started off, I don't think North Texas is a good job, and he did a good job at times there. Whatever reason they had for letting him go, I don't know. I think that was a bad job to take. He was a good coordinator at times. I think that where he started here, the marrying of two systems together, because that's the only reason that Joe John was made a coordinator. Nobody's even thought about him as a coordinator up until this point. But he knew Jeff Lebby's offense. He's Jeff Lebby's best man in his wedding. They're best friends. He was his top assistant. He knew the offense. And Leb said, yeah, he can run the whole thing. If you were going to stick to that, if that's what you really wanted, then you should have just done that. Instead, he makes the choice of co-coordinators so that we can find a way to marry this thing. Why the fuck they talked him into that, I don't know. That's a glaring omission. That's a bad move on BV's fault, in my opinion. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything. I don't. But I don't get it. I struggle to understand that one. I just don't get it. OU fears its coaches. You keep saying that, Derek. I don't know that I believe all that. I don't believe all that. Because you know what? They love Coach Venables. And nobody's harder on football players than Coach Venables, and loves on them that way too. There's never a time that they lie to anybody about it. I don't look, we have Big Mike Boganowski on here all the time. And I've never got that idea that they're afraid of these guys. Why would you be afraid of them? Why? They're recruiting the way they are. Man, kids talk to each other. Parents talk to each other. That's not what goes around anywhere ever. Think about what they were doing at Clemson with Coach Venables. They're still really good on the defensive side because of the foundation that they set up there. Their struggle has been on the other side of the ball.
Garrett Bulwer Super Chat, $9.99. Texas is still a mother lover, but they took us to a Diddy party and used no loop. Ouch, 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 it hurts. Benji is alright, but time him out anyway. Lol.
All right. Don't do the rent-free shit or I will time you out. That is the mating call of the chronic masturbator. We all know that I believe that. Stop saying that word. Rent-free. Shut up. And Sooner Cowboys, watch it. That meeting was moved up to Saturday night. Believe that. Believe that. That's right. That's correct, David. Hey, legend, I got you. Hold on real quick. What's up, Coach? Welcome to the show.
What's going on, my brother? How's everything going?
Oh, it's fabulous and fantastic. You already know.
Man, I was on the way back home dropping my granddaughter off, man, and listening to some of the bitching and bickering and complaining about some of these comments, man. And let me, I don't want to try to steal some of your spotlight, man, but
speak away, please.
Some of the shit, man, that some of our fans be saying, man, sometimes, man, is just crazy as hell. And we have to realize, man, we are 30, 40, sometimes 50-year-old guys that are asking 17, 18, 19-year-old kids to live a fucking
Benji
fantasy
Super
for
Chat,
us
$10.
that we can't do.
Take that.
A lot of us
At
haven't
Garrett
played at
Bowl
that
where
level.
hogged all the baby oil.
And then
It
we're
shouldn't
getting
have hurt
upset
y'all that
when
bad.
kids
Time Garrett out.
who
Hashtag
give
hook 'em,
everything that they
hashtag the
have,
brand.
man. All this shit boils down to play calling. Period. Play calling. We hired 2 guys that have, in just my opinion, no fucking clue on how to call a game. And it's just X's and O's. You can sit here and say it's Division 2, Division 1, NFL, high school, college. It's X's and O's. You mean tell me for 2 weeks you had a game plan to draw something up, and this is what we came up with. So I'm very upset that the play calling wasn't better. But I think and everything, man, that we can't allow loyalty to dictate 2 guys staying that don't have no clue about what type of offense they want to run. So, and I heard you say earlier about replacing coaches and things like that. If that is needed, then let's do that. Um, most times, if you do make a big splash hire, he's going to want to bring his people in. He's going to want to bring his people in.
That's fine. That's fine with me. I'll let him do it.
And we don't know if that's a blessing or not. The gentleman from UNLV, I think, would be a great hire because he's doing more with less. If you allow him to come to Oklahoma, now, don't get me wrong, the coaches at Oklahoma might just need someone that's not an OU alumni to come in there and make decisions. Has anybody stopped to think about Zach Alley is not a part of Oklahoma? He didn't play there, he didn't coach there, and he's coming there coaching his ass off. Sometimes you have to bring somebody else in and let them run everything. And if we're going to keep coaches, fine. If not, oh well. But BV has to be very careful that he gets his next hire right, because now it's going to inflict on him. You've hired 2 people that couldn't get the job done. So now the AD and everyone's going to think, did we do the right due diligence in bringing in the right guy? And I think BV is the right guy, but BV has to get this hire.
Well, that's the question now at this point, Coach. That's the question now. Is he? Because I believe you. I'm with you. Now, listen. I'm just asking the question. This is the reason I'm asking this. Is I believe you. I believe what you believe too. I think he is the guy. The question is, when I start questioning it, is if you don't make this move now. Because why do you not make this move now? You've got half the season to go. You have 2 losses, not 4.
Yeah. You can still salvage the season.
You need a spark, and your job, yes, your allegiance to be to this football team, not to these coaches.
Yeah.
And I think that if let's say, look, I'm a lot of people were putting out a lot of stuff in the comments here about coaches they'd like to see. We're talking about Brennan Marion, the go-go offense. Love the go-go offense, by the way. Is it gimmicky? You could call it that. I think it's similar to the spread. It's just you see some differences, and they run the shit out of the ball out of it. I like the
anything is better than what we got right now.
Facts. Whoever they end up getting. But I also would tell you that I think that you might have a hell of an offensive coordinator in-house right now in Emmett Jones. We just don't know that because we haven't seen him with the X's and O's and calling plays. We don't know.
Yeah.
But if you make this move and you try to inject some life into this football team, then you got a shot.
Yeah. Well,
you give him a shot and give him an opportunity to not only, or even if you wanted to do it with Big Bill, I don't know. I don't care. All I know is something has to change. Welcome into the show, Legends.
The hire that Bob Stoops made came out of nowhere when he hired Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere. He was on nobody's radar. Nobody's radar.
Nope.
And this is the thing that I try to, and I'm very emotional, man, when it comes to players, commitment, and sacrifice. These guys, man, that came back, man, I'm kind of pissed off because they could have moved on and done greater things with their lives and everything in the NFL. But to
Mm-hmm.
choose to come back and this shit happens. BV is a player's coach. So if you
Yep.
are a player's coach, you're going to have to grab the damn bull by the horns and get this shit right. Or it might be your job on the line here soon, which I hope it's not, because he did exactly what he said he was going to do. He brought physicality, a tough, physical, aggressive defense. But
Mm-hmm.
that defense can't do every freaking thing.
No.
It has limits. So he didn't think Levy would leave so quick, but even Levy had limitations. That fucking jet sweep, I hate that damn thing.
Yeah.
So,
and it's a good play if you pair it with a play that looks like it and ends up in a deep throw, right?
thank you. We never saw a fake jet sweep, and once you do a fake jet sweep, you can hit the damn tight end across the damn middle because they're gonna go in motion with the damn guy going in motion.
Mm-hmm.
It's the X's and the O's. That's what I'm saying. I think he's overthinking shit because, man, guys, I'm sitting here to tell you, Jason, all day, man, I've been off social media. I haven't looked at the computer until now because the shit just don't make no sense.
No.
It's basic knowledge. You
Look at this.
cannot be a
Look at this.
college coach making all these freaking fucking millions and you can't draw up a. I can get in the damn sand and draw up a damn game plan for a damn ball game
Mm-hmm.
and at least get 21 points.
Mm-hmm.
No trick plays, no misdirection, no on silent count, no nothing that is the basic 101 of football. So
You know, Coach.
that's my bitch.
Read this comment real quick before you go. There, you have an ineffective O line, a mash unit, wide receiver. So other teams have 8 in the box and just playing run and QB draws. You're not wrong. He's not wrong, and that's the problem. The thing is I get what you're talking about with the O line, Richard. But the thing is that the O line is getting more healthy now, and this was the second straight week that they had it right, and they went. It was still completely predictable. And you had to, here's where I'm at on the and we talked about this last night. Legend, you and I talked about this. Coach, you and I too. You had 2 fucking weeks to come up with this game. 2 fucking weeks, and you don't even get 1 touchdown out of it.
Yeah.
This is not okay. This is not any coordinator would do that. This coordinator did it. These para coordinators could fuck it or fuck around for 2 weeks and not come up with a game plan that made a fucking lick of sense and couldn't get a touchdown for the second time in 3 years against your biggest rival. No, it's not okay. They got to go.
You know, there is one play, and I don't care if you're OU, Texas, or whoever. There's one play that OU don't run that could break that 8-man box, and they don't run it. And it's simple. Shovel pass.
Yeah.
I mean, you go back to the 2000s, and how many times did Josh Heupel shovel it to Quentin Griffin? A lot. And that was, you know, the shovel pass and the slip screens. Them would break people's backs the whole freaking game. Why couldn't we have thrown something like that in there yesterday, Coach?
Man, look, if you're asking me, I don't know what their thought process was, to be honest. I really don't. I keep saying this, man, and I am I got my start as an OC.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna sit here and lie. There were nights that I would stay up 2 or 3, 4 or 5 in the morning because yes, I did overthink things. But once I got on that holy grail, that football field, all that shit went out the way.
Yeah.
Because I knew what they were going to do and I knew what I was going to do. The easiest thing to coach is offense.
Mm-hmm.
That's the easiest thing to coach because no one has a clue what you're going to do except for your team. it is harder to coach defense and be prepared for what everyone's going to throw at you and be in the right spot at the right time. You mean to tell me that in the 8-man box, I don't understand why coaches don't do it no more. But you can 5-yard curl your ass down the field all day because no one is playing man up.
Mm-hmm.
If you got 8 in the box, there's no way you can play 8 up. I mean, man up in the 5 receiver spread. There's no way. So when that safety and that strong safety is 10 yards off and everybody else is covering the flats and covering deep third, why aren't we just hitting the 5-yard square out on the tight end and
Exactly.
getting 5 and 6 yards every damn time?
Exactly.
This is what I mean. We're overthinking. This
Yeah.
is what I mean when we're overthinking. And my wife and everybody's like, Will, why do you get so adamant about these games? Because you're making fucking millions of dollars doing something that a bunch of us love to do, and you can't do it worth shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all day I've been upset, and I don't never let myself get upset because it's bad for my health and
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. But I don't like to see a team that is not prepared, and then you and they have all the tools, all the players. I don't like Jason. I agree with you. I didn't like DeMarco's rotation. I don't know what the hell he's doing. I have no idea what he's doing. I don't know if it's an ego trip thing with DeMarco and you have to be in his good graces to get on the field, but I have no clue why we are not allowing other guys. Gavin Sawchuk is not getting it cut. He's not cutting it.
Mm-mm.
He's not cutting it. So
There's something
at
weird.
the end of the day,
he's not running hard, and it's like it almost feels like he's going in. You know, he's coming in there, and he's got a lot of anxiety about where he's picking the hole. I don't know why. He had field vision last year. You know,
the
I'm not
hard,
sure what it is.
comfortable conversations are going to have to be made here real soon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it might not be what we like, but it might be necessary.
Right.
And coach, let me go back to last year's game against Texas. This is why I say DeMarco needs an extension cord taken to him for letting Tywee Walker go. Tywee Walker was the difference maker in that Texas game last year. Look at how
I
many.
don't know why you didn't keep him and
That's right.
give him what he wants. He's proven to you that he is an asset. You always got to sit there and say, is he worth keeping? And a 230 or 40-pound running back is definitely worth keeping.
Mm-hmm.
So and to answer one person's question in the comments earlier that really ticked me the hell off, and I'm going to address it because normally I let things roll off my back.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Let's get taken to
There we
school.
go. Shit got real.
No,
Oh.
this is personal because being a quarterback in school, high school, and college, and everything, I had this done to me, and to have somebody else address it, it just burns my ass. Is that you don't pull a quarterback and then the other quarterback has already told you he's not coming back. Why would you put his ass in the ball game if he already told you he's not coming back? And then you got a quarterback in there that's busting his ass and killing his ass to do whatever he can to get inches, yards, or whatever. And then you get mad because he doesn't live up to your fucking expectations
Boom.
of how he's supposed to read progressions. You can't read progressions when your ass is running for your life.
Facts, coach. Facts.
I don't understand why we sit here as fans and watch the ball game and think, oh, I can do that. You can't do shit.
Nope.
Set your ass back, have a Coke, have popcorn, watch the ball game, and enjoy it. That burns me when people think that they can come in here and do that shit.
You know,
That's the first time I've ever got upset and start cursing about that, is that you can't play high school, let alone college. Why would you think that you can do something better than what these kids have been doing all their freaking lives?
Yeah.
You can't. You Casey can barely run. Why would you have him in a damn game?
Exactly.
JA, his mind is overseas somewhere. He don't know what the hell he's doing. So you're pretty much, you have to go with Michael. And if you take Michael out, all your quarterbacks are gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We
You
knew
have to
that,
go to a portal and find some quarterbacks.
which we all knew this would happen.
Yes,
You
Jackson
mentioned it.
Arnold did say he's not coming back.
And then bring in Michael Hawkins, and he has one bad game. Now they're wanting to bench Michael Hawkins. Who's your choice now, idiots? You know,
It's not Michael, man. It's, you have an offensive coordinator. Okay, Jason, you don't want to say it. Sooner or later, you don't want to say it. I'll say it.
hey,
We got a mediocre OC. We got a mediocre OC that got the job because he was an alumni.
Pretty sure I said that.
I said it.
He was an alumni, and we as OU fans, we are very loyal to our alumni.
Yes, we are.
Sometimes to a fault.
Yes.
Lincoln, I don't like to mention his name. Lincoln Riley was a great hire at that point in time, but even Lincoln had to go through some learning curves. And I agree with you, Jason. Lincoln is not a head coach. He's a great OC. He's a damn good OC. There are some guys that are meant to be followers, and there are some people that are meant to be leaders.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Littrell is meant to be a leader on this OC as an OC for Oklahoma.
No.
Oklahoma is not like Liberty. It's not like UNLV. It is a prestige blue blood that demands excellence every single time it steps on the field. All right, that's my bitch.
Yeah,
I'm back to normal now.
Mr. Dilligoff super chat, $4.99.
You know,
Case in point, Coach Reds.
my bitch
Look at what Tati is doing
with
in
Littrell.
Wisconsin. Pay that man his money.
That
Hold on. When we get a super chat, let's acknowledge the super chat, okay? $4.99 from Mr. Dilligoff. Case in point, Coach Ricks. Look at Tawi.
Yes,
what he's doing at Wisconsin. Pay that man his money. Look, hey, and now Tawi said on this show last week, by the way, that he didn't come back because he wanted to go be the guy somewhere else, and he understood that wasn't going to be here. Now, why he understood that, that's neither here nor there, and he didn't say that to me. Okay, I'm just telling you, he told us that on the show that he knew that he wasn't going to be the guy here at Oklahoma because of the situation that they had with their scholarship guys.
Mm-hmm.
I understand what he's getting at. But I also understand why people are pissed off, and including you, Coach. And I know, Legend, you said the same thing. I agree. The bottom line is Tawi was that guy, and he the rotation by DeMarco was trash. And the fact of the matter is, damn it, the camera went out again. The fact of the matter is that these guys have allowed DeMarco to do this the way that they have, and that includes Coach Venables. I don't love this situation where it's so compartmentalized from place to place, from position to position. I don't love that. And I don't understand it either, because a real coordinator is going to get his guys that he wants, and they're going to do the things that he wants to do. And I have a hard time understanding that. But go ahead with what you were going to say, Legend.
Well, I said this on my video yesterday, and I know a lot of Sooner fans out there will probably be pissed off at me because I'm not going to mention one name. But in my fandom as a Sooner fan, former players who were assistants that lived up past expectations: Lucius Selman, Gary Gibbs, and Cale Gundy. Them were my three favorite assistants that were former players that succeeded at OU. We can throw in Josh Heupel.
Okay.
That's my take on that. Seth Littrell.
Do you
go ahead, Coach? Go ahead.
No. Do you guys know who I would go get just for the hell of it?
Who's that, coach?
Just for the hell of it. Bad head coach, great OC. I would go get Scott Frost.
Couldn't be any worse than it is now, coach.
He's proven he's a great OC, but
Yeah.
he's a terrible coach.
No, you're not wrong. And you know what? K.
Terrible
Chris was
coach.
talking about that last night when I talked to him on the phone. K. Chris was talking
He
about
did
Scott
damn
Frost.
good at
That was
Oregon.
something that Unc came
Damn
up
good at
with.
Oregon.
Look, the guy can coach.
But
he can coach on the
we-
offense. Is a good coordinator. I think he wasn't a very good head coach. I say he wasn't a good head coach. He wasn't a good head coach at his alma mater,
Nebraska.
which
No.
which speaks to why the fuck are we hiring all these guys that played here?
Thank you. Thank you. Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you why. There's this mystique about every coach trying to be like Bob Stoops.
Yep.
Okay. Every coach is trying to be like Bob Stoops. They want to be loyal like Bob Stoops. They want to be praised by Bob Stoops. You got to cut that cord and get away from being like that. I don't want to follow no man. I want to be my own man, and because just what you guys start thinking about. And Jason, you and Student Letter, y'all can attest to it. When shit falls in my lap, I'm gonna do shit my way. If it falls in my lap, eventually, I mean, if we're saying the head coach, it all starts and stops with him. You're gonna have to make decisions to where fuck how they feel. I mean, and these coaches know it's a business. They see, they hear, they know that if I'm not doing my job, I'm my own worst enemy. If I'm not doing my job, you ain't got to fire me. I'm gonna quit.
Yep.
Because my name means something to me, and I'm not gonna. If I was, and just sometimes it hardly ever happens. If I was an OC right now for Oklahoma, if I was Seth Littrell, I would eventually step down. If I love my alma mater the way I say I do, I would step down because I'm not getting the job done.
As they say, coach, pride cometh before the fall.
Hey, I've never really been this hot about something.
Me either.
I think the reason why I got hot is because neighbors and friends and family, Will, you all right? Man, oh, you showed up. I don't want to hear that shit no more. Man, oh, you showed. I don't want to hear that shit no more. All damn day. Go to store. Damn. Oh, I don't want to hear that shit no more. Because everybody here knows I'm a big OU fan. I don't hide it. But I'm tired of hearing the shit. I've heard it on the TV, ESPN, social media, in my personal life. I'm tired of hearing the shit.
Yeah.
It don't affect me the way I didn't think it would affect me the way I thought it would, but it affects me because people live and breathe through football. I don't. I love it. I love watching it and I love coaching it, but my life is not football.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, Jess.
Take a look at this. What in here? I've seen this a few times and actually from a few different people. So Walt's talking about, I don't have all that faith others do in that defense, especially after seeing the class of the Texas defense. They were legendary looking. Now, again, I'm going to tell you that what we saw yesterday was a result of that defense was on the field the entirety of the second quarter and the third. Because and at some point the dam is going to break when you go out there. In the first quarter, they had a turnover and allowed 13 total yards. At some point, though, whenever you are 3 and out, the dam's going to break when you have an offense like you had at Texas. And as far as Lone Star, that was a stupid ass thing to do when you came in here and said that to start with. Come on, I'm going to kick you out for that, dummy. Go ahead.
I think it's going to be Brandon Marion at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Because like Purple said, and I knew that he coached at Oklahoma Baptist before.
Yep.
So he knows Oklahoma. He knows about this part. But I think that we just need to get a different voice in the room before we lose players. Because these players know
that could be but that could also, you're not going to hire anybody at the moment right now. You got to have an interim.
No.
And
You're
that's
gonna have
why
to ride it out.
you got to figure out what's going to happen. You got to find we know that these guys can't call fucking plays.
Exactly.
We know that. Now we don't know what we would get from Emmett Jones or even from Bill Bedenbaugh.
I would give it to Bill Bedenbaugh because he's had 3 or 4 OCs come through that had to show him how his guys need to block.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure he has a catalog of things because we didn't think that oh God, who was that? We didn't think that fucking what's his name brother had a damn clue how to call an offense. Mike Gundy.
Yeah.
We didn't know that Kale could call the game he did against Oregon. He did a pretty decent job. You're going to have to give someone else the reins to call plays to see if we can get the ball moving. If we can do that, that might answer your question.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think we need an official OC and a damn quarterbacks coach.
Yes. You know, Coach.
We need both. We need somebody that has thrown the damn football before that knows how to do the progression of how to read, what to look for. Then you need the OC to come in here and do the overall on how we're going to run, how the tackles are going to pull, how the guards are going to do this. We need all that because the defense has finally been fixed.
Yes, finally.
We never thought we would trade the offense for the defense, but that's what we did. We traded the damn offense for the defense. Now the offense freaking sucks.
Yeah.
And I like Joe John.
I do too.
I like all of them, but they just gotta go.
You know, Coach, as bad as I couldn't stand him being an offensive coordinator back during the Stoops era, do you know who was probably one of the top quarterbacks coach we had? And he was Heisman runner up for Iowa.
Don't say hold on. Don't say Long. Was it Long?
Yeah. Chuck Long.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I could not stand him as an OC. But
Chuck third and Long. Are
Chuck,
you serious?
But he was a hell of a quarterback.
Yeah, Chuck Long.
Because if you remember Josh's first year, he was kind of there, because Leach was here. Mm-hmm. If you notice, Josh was still kind of happy feet, as we like to say.
Yeah.
Chuck worked with him all off season, and what you've seen Josh Heupel in that 2000 championship run was Chuck Long and his development with Josh.
Well,
and Josh,
if you get Scott Frost, you get both of them.
Exactly.
Because Scott Frost was quarterback and he's OC. You can kill two birds with one stone. But I'm like you. I would try Scott Frost, and then that somebody else said they would try. I'm not even against, and this is crazy. I'm not even against you going to go get damn oh God, Sam Bradford. I don't care if you go get him. I don't care if you go and get Jason White.
All right. Wait. I gotta shut this one down, okay, bro? I can't have it. Because the problem we're in, I think, partly has to do with the fact we're going to get an alumni. I don't want to see that anymore.
Yeah. I'm just joking. It gotta be. It can't be no worse than what we got right now, because we got two people that have never been quarterbacks.
Yeah,
trying to call an OC.
All right,
to
coach a guy. You're talking about Brennan Marion, though, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And I like the conversation because a lot of people are saying that's a gimmicky offense, right?
It's not.
It's not really that gimmicky. The sets look different, right? Because you'll see like 4 wide to one side in a box formation, which is a little different. I'm going to give you that. But if you notice what they do out of it, what I love about that offense is this, that he creates a lot of mismatches in the running game and the passing game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A lot of mismatches. Look, what they like to do right now is more running. They don't really have a guy. Well, they had a guy at the start of the year that threw the ball a lot better. Whatever's going on at UNLV is what happened. And I think Brendan's a good coach. I don't think he's a slam dunk hire. My slam dunk hire would be Tim Beck.
I like Tim Beck.
The guy
like
does
that.
more with less everywhere, and
I,
he's not
I
a guy
like that.
that's stuck on one system. He knows that system. I think the best coaches in the world, period, at anything they do, are the people that do not try to fit square pegs in round holes. It is called the
There you
go-go.
go.
Yes.
There you go.
I
Mhm.
love the coaches that look at their personnel and know what they need to do to be successful, and they do it. And that's Tim Beck. I can't tell you how hard it is to win at New Mexico State. They won with him and Coach Kill there. And Coach Kill's another hell of a coach. But Tim Beck is like a rising star, and you may not get to keep him forever. That's okay. Let him bring along who he wants to bring along, and then you stick with that tree of people because this guy knows what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And you call in
Yeah.
Kim Hurst. Sure, absolutely. You know what? I will put that link in there. You guys can call him. Hold on real quick. In any event, there's guys out there, but the main point that I was trying to make with this whole deal, and I know what Kim's about to say whenever he gets in here, is that with all these injuries and everything else, I get that part. I get that conversation, but I'm going to tell you now that it wasn't just that you cannot blame it all on injuries. You cannot do it. You can't do it. Dude. Tim Beck was awful for us at OC Texas. Y'all were shitty at Texas when he was there.
Has anybody seen or heard of Sean Lewis? Where did he go? Is he
He's
just
the head
out
coach
coaching?
at San Diego State. Head coach at San Diego State. So he's not going to be the coach. He's got his own gig. Of course, he would have. I mean, he was a head coach at, I think it was Kent State before that, right?
Kent State. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when Kent State was scoring a lot of damn points.
Then another guy that I would think of is the guy that's at, you'll have to remind me of his name, but he's at Liberty right now.
I got it. Hold on. His name is
Willie Corn. Willie.
Yeah, Corn.
Yeah, Willie Corn.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was thinking of their head coach, I guess. What's the head coach there?
Oh God. Let me see.
Crap. Why am I yawning so much?
I don't know. All right, listen. There's going to be. I really hate to. You know what? As a matter of fact, I'm not doing it this way. The only call-ins we're going to take are from members of the Hall of Fame Mafia. If you're not members of the Hall of Fame Mafia and can't get it in your Discord, you ain't calling in because I don't trust you dudes. I'm just telling you right now. Just going to tell you now.
And, you know, I hate to go. I know people hate hearing this, but, you know, people forget that Mark Mangino was pretty good about crossing up that defense, too, when he was OC. Yeah. He never did give you the same look, you know.
Well, it's just that they gotta give a look. The first drive looked pretty decent.
It did,
and then it just went haywire.
Coach,
and I just don't.
You said it last night. I said it during the Auburn game. When we run outside, we get 5-6 yards a pop, sometimes bigger, and then Seth will go away from it. You won't see it again.
My thing is, why do you stop doing something when it works and the defense doesn't stop it? We stop it ourselves.
Exactly. And coach, you coached offense. There's a handoff that worked in 1970 that still works right now. It's that old counter tray.
They don't like to run it. I don't know why. I don't know why.
And you know damn good and well, coach, that counter play will burn you for at least a good 7-8 yards.
I don't know, man.
Could it still not work today?
Yes.
The counter tray?
Yeah, the counter.
They don't run any counters. That's the other thing.
They don't. I mean, I'm puzzled, man, because we're sitting here saying it, and if we can say it as people that have watched the game for so many years, you mean tell me that these guys that are coaching can't remember that? Can't.
And you know, when you're down,
Go ahead.
And when you're down on the 1 yard line and you're getting stuffed, there's a Joe Montana play that will still work, and that's that naked bootleg to the left or naked bootleg to the right. That's wide open all freaking day.
We get too cute. We get too cozy with the norm that we have and that we've had, and it just don't work, man. I just don't know why we are struggling the way that we are struggling. And we have, I'm pretty sure Lincoln left a playbook somewhere in that damn place.
Yeah.
that
Hey,
we could
we can learn the same shit that Seth learned from the guy that started the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. So Seth had his opportunity to make that call. He knows that same playbook. He didn't do it, guys. He didn't do it.
Yeah.
So and that's the thing is you have to find a way to get that done. In this Marion, maybe it was because they tried to marry these two systems together. I don't give a fuck what it is at this point. They failed to come up with a game plan in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
If they
had
happen to get
put a game plan
Marion,
together, they didn't do it.
if they happen to get Marion, do you think he's going to bring people, or is he going to think Oklahoma is the cream of the crop? I can make this work. Just a question.
I don't know. We'll see how long
That's,
it lasts.
what was that question, Coach?
If they bring Brennan Marion, do you think that he's going to bring his own people? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think
Because-
his own people. I think he may keep certain guys around. That doesn't necessarily mean they fire everybody.
Well, here's the thing: if who does he have at where he's at that would be better than what OU has?
South Texas Super
Do you
Chat,
think that it would be
$5.
a new
Embrace
voice
the
in the room
disappointment.
now?
It's
A
what makes the
new
highs of the team we follow
understanding
worth it.
that
Don't overthink
this
it.
is the
You're in the
system
midst
that
of
we're
a
going to
cycle.
run, and then everything trickles in the right direction? Or do we just do a complete overhaul and just you bring who you want to bring and keep who you want to keep?
You're muted, Jason.
When you hear those super chats, they're going to hear that super chat over you, so you might as well quit talking just until they finish like talking it out. I cannot find a way to get rid of that. So just when you hear those pop up, you might as well just wait a second and then
I've seen it on the screen and
because you won't hear it. Because you won't hear it. But when you hear that little thing go off, that's why I was saying. When it comes to what that super chat said, he was talking about a down cycle. That's a Texas fan, guys. Don't listen to that guy. He can put his money in to talk shit. That's fine. And that's the only way he's going to get it in. So it is what it is. In the end, and I'm not talking shit to you, Coach Ricks. I was just saying they didn't hear it. They didn't hear you because you don't hear that talk going over the top of you. That's okay. I want to make sure. Okay. So I'll just kind of interject next time, just that way, because otherwise we're not going to get your point. Okay. I was asking, and I want you to finish that point. Because I was asking you yes, he may or may not bring in everybody with him. He's going to probably bring the guys that he trusts the most. But I think that Brennan Marion has enough brains on him to know that, we probably want to keep Bill Bedenbaugh around.
Mm-hmm.
We want Bill Bedenbaugh to have say in what we're doing here. I know people are in the chat wanting to continue to kill Bill Bedenbaugh. I wouldn't, you guys do realize that all these 5-star guys that are coming in, there's one and the possibility of 2 more. I think that Ryan Foji is definitely a 5-star material guy. He hadn't reached the 5-star yet, but I would tell you that these guys are leaving if they're there because of Bill Bedenbaugh. And all this bullshit about him being bad, you got to remember what was going on at the end of Lincoln's time. You had multiple years with a damn strength and conditioning coach that couldn't find his ass with both hands.
Yep.
They got to have strength. They got to be big. They weren't. They were getting smaller and smaller on that watch. That's not a Bill Bedenbaugh problem.
No. Well,
and he's coaching through the scheme that whatever this scheme is, which is shit. Yes, I agree, because I don't know what it is even. None of this really makes a lot of sense. And it just seems like whatever it was that crept into the freaking groundwater here is not good when it comes to this offense.
Well, every time I talk to our good buddy Ty Hayes from Around the Table Sports, we have this conversation. And he said, Mike, y'all please fire Bill Bedenbaugh because Alabama would take him in a heartbeat. And that's coming from Ty Hayes.
Listen, he's not the only one that would take him.
No. And Ty brought this up.
A shot. You think Lincoln Riley wouldn't love to have Bill Bedenbaugh right now? Because I promise you he would. Not to say he would go to Lincoln, but they suck on the offensive line and have.
Yeah.
And it's not getting really better. There's a lot of programs that would love to have Big Bill. And this idea that he's trash and not ready, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. You know, and Ty said this too. If you see Bill Bedenbaugh get fired, you will see a lot of offensive linemen get fired to try to get their bid on him.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
You're muted, Coach.
I'm going to tell you guys this is that might be. I think there's 4 or 5 people that Brent is going to say those are the ones that's not going. And I guarantee you, Bill is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that because we're not worrying about the defensive side. We're not worrying about that. I'm saying probably Emmett Jones and Bill. He's going to say you can't touch those two. Everybody else is fair game.
What about B. Hall and Jay Valai, Coach?
They're on defense.
Oh, okay. You're saying offense.
Yeah, defense. There's nothing wrong with the defense. It's the offense that everybody complained about because the offense is what's affecting the defense.
Exactly.
You can't have 9-3 and outs. You can't.
No.
Well, and I think the question I was asking you that I meant to re-ask again was you keep getting these people talking about the defense not being good. Speak to that a little bit about once you get on the field so much, Coach.
I'm going to tell you right now is that let me put it in plain English for you. If your offense is not helping the defense, and it could be just something simple. Let's not have 9 3 and outs. Let's have 5. That would have been a difference in the game versus 9. Do you know how depleting it is to sit there and get on the sideline, get Gatorade, get the tablet and see what defense assignment you missed, and before you can do that, you're right back out there again. Mm-hmm. And then you got to go back out there and put forth the effort and do everything, and then you stop them, and then you go back on the side, get your Gatorade again, get your tablet again, look through the progressions, and you going right back out there again. That shit is depleting as hell. So yes, you need time to look at your tablet or your assignments to see what you missed on the previous drive. If you didn't correct the X's and O's from the first drive, and you've been out there 4 or 5 drives, you've missed 3 or 4 possessions that you're not getting the right reads because you couldn't make the adjustments the previous down. That all trickles into what happens to the defense. The defense is fine. The defense held this so-called high-powered offense in the first half to no points.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, somebody said, oh, yeah, that's why you play the whole game. We don't play the first quarter. I understand that. But even Texas fans in the first quarter was like, oh, shit. And then the dam broke. And then now y'all happy as hell. Yep. But at the first quarter, everything was fine. But you have to help the defense by the offensive side. So if I have 14 possessions in the first half, at least 7 of those have to end in points or something positive. Even if it's a 13-14 play drive or a 9-10 play drive, you have to help the defense out.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jason, hopefully that answered your question, man, because you can't put all this and everything on the defense when the offense ain't doing shit. And I
Exactly.
can't say ain't doing shit. They haven't done shit.
And you're right, Coach. It's human nature. Like you said, when you go 9 3 and outs, at some point your body is going to be fatigued by staying on the field. What did they stay on the field? Yes, defense.
Especially against an offensive line like Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't they on the field like 75, 80% of the time yesterday?
Defense was on the field 78% of the time.
So I was
For
close.
the whole game.
Yeah.
For the whole game.
For the whole game. That's, dude, their bodies was spent, literally.
I stand corrected 71% of the time.
71. But still.
And
70.
Gabriel,
Go ahead.
it ain't Coach. Yes, it's Coach B's offensive line.
He's only running this blocking schemes that come from Seth and those guys.
Thank you. But if you call a play,
damn,
and we block it right, but then the quarterback and everything still doesn't see which progression he's supposed to hit, I'm gonna give it. It's never going to be okay. When we say it's the head coach's fault on defense, whose fault is it for a bad call? The defensive coordinator. Whose fault is it on the offense if we can't do shit? The OC. It's not the offensive line coach. It's not the wide receiver coach. It's not the running back coach. It's the OC because he calls the freaking plays. and if you call shit, you can't block shit.
That's right. Yeah, you put
y'all got me hot tonight.
Yeah, you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig, Coach. You're right.
Hot, man. I never thought I'd be this damn hot over a damn ball game.
Me either.
But it's the idiotic questions, man, that
and the comments,
I mean, you know what they should have? A questionnaire before you come into a podcast. Have you played football? Yes or no?
Watch it.
Have you played football? Yes or no? And I know they can hate on me. It's your podcast. They can hate on me. I'm just saying you got to have common sense sometime when you make these comments, man. Comments is what it.
Look,
common sense
is short for fanatical. Most people that are fanatical don't have a lot of. Look, there's a context is a word that I am very fond of. The word context, and it fails to get through to most people. You can lead a horse to water. You ain't gonna make them drink it. And a lot of these guys, you can't make them, no matter what you say, get off of these things.
Mm-hmm.
The offense has to be fixed. The game planning has to be fixed. The bottom line, I think, with all of us in here that we've been talking about, and we're gonna get off of here before too long. The bottom line is I think you got to look at it in terms of this. This is a 2-week game plan that you put together, and you came up with 3 points. When your defense came out there and put you in a position to take a lead, to take at least a 10-0 lead, or at the very worst, a 6-0 lead, and you come up with 3 points, and you gave up 13 fucking yards in the first half or the first quarter, 13 yards. Then from the second quarter on, you gave up like 400. Now, a lot of that has to do with the fact of 3 and out. At some point, you're going to get worn out. The big boys down on the line that you are expecting to get through and make plays, they're not going to continue doing it. If you continue having to chase receivers down the field, then you're going to get worn out too. The point is that there was no rhyme or reason for any of this, and even the things that look like they're working a little bit, they stopped doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's no understanding for that. Everybody's been talking about this, and whoever the new coordinator is, the bottom line is where I'm trying to get to is they have to make a change for this football team today.
Yeah.
Today. You don't fire Bill Bedenbaugh at all, in my opinion, but you damn sure don't do it in the middle of the fucking season when you have an offensive line that is struggling.
Mm-hmm.
What you try to do is you get rid of these guys that nobody feels like there's any hope. And the reason that you do it is you're trying to hold on to the players that you had to have. What did I say when I very first came on here? Your job right now, if you're Brent Venables, is to show your football team that you are more on their side than you are on the side of your coaches.
Mhm.
That you are going to do everything you can for them because you promised them that you were going to do everything you could to help them get to become great football players, win championships, that kind of stuff. If you don't make this call right now and you're showing allegiance to these coaches that aren't getting it done, that's not a great way to go about it. Particularly when you're not seeing everybody get into the game. Again, I don't know what the hierarchy, why it is that it seems like it's compartmentalized within the offense. I don't want to see that. I can tell you that I don't know what DeMarco's doing. I don't care if they got rid of DeMarco. At some point, and you're probably going to lose players like that too, but you maybe lose players by not making the move from Seth and Joe John when they know that they're being made to look bad.
Mm-hmm.
And if the next step for you is to go back to Jackson Arnold, then you're damn sure losing more players. You're going to lose the guy that you have. You know?
Mr. Dilligoff
Mhm.
Super Chat,
This is why I say it's a great thing to
$4.99.
keep Bill
Coach
Bingo.
Ricks, like my favorite
He's
fellow
had-
Marine says,
Coach,
common sense
Coach,
is not a
5
common virtue. God
I'm sorry,
bless
go ahead.
Chesty Polar. Have a good night, fellas. Boomer.
All right. Mr. Dilligaff actually was talking straight to you. So Coach Ricks, like my favorite fellow Marine says, common sense is not a common virtue. Bless Chesty Pooler. Have a good night, fellas. Boomer. Hey, I agree. Common sense is absolutely not common among fans. Folks, real quick, before I give this back to Coach Ricks, we've had over 2,500 views in here tonight. 2,500. We appreciate that. We're at 73 likes. That's like 3%.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all love coming in here and busting chops, but you can't hit the damn like button. I'm gonna stop putting. What I'm gonna end up doing is stop putting anything that isn't a freaking super chat up on the screen if you don't hit the like button until we're at 15% or more. Because this ain't right, man. Come on now.
Mhm.
I love it that you guys are watching. I appreciate that. Hit the like button, man. It's a free way for you to, even if you're here just to bust balls, it's a good way to do that.
Wipe y'all's damn feet.
Right? Would you walk into your grandmama's house like that and not wipe your freaking feet? Come on.
Boy, you got to go outside and get that switch.
For real. Yeah, she was your ass. Right? All right. Come on. Hey, to argue against Marine, there's nothing like common sense. It's a fallacious statement to say otherwise. Common sense is relative. Relative to the person. True.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
I might not have played college, but I played 8-man football. I had to play both sides.
Well, I apologize for making that statement, man, earlier, man, because I
You're
was
fine.
real. I'm more of a person, man, because a lot of these fans, man, they don't play sports. They don't play football. They don't do any of these things. And they get on here and bitch about what this person should have done, and they didn't do this and they don't do that. Some people don't have an athletic bone in their freaking body, and they complain about people who get out there and do it every single day. So
Mhm.
Yep.
I apologize for what I said earlier, man, because normally I don't get upset because I just say I laugh it off because I think it's kind of funny. But the reason why I think it's a terrible idea to fire Bill Bingo, he's had 5 offensive coordinators since he's been here.
Mhm.
Only one bad OC, and that's now.
Right.
So this one bad OC is making him look bad, and it's not even him.
OC, Purple Orca says, love it. Pedro for OC.
And let's not forget, Bill Bedenbow has the highest paid center in the NFL right now, Creed Humphrey.
He's got
has
like
the highest paid
$250 million. He's
line.
$250 million in contracts for Bill Bedenbow. You guys got to shut up about Bill. All right, Center Cowboys. This is a smart question. Why do y'all think that BVE wants to play just physicality? Maybe that's why the offense doesn't pass the ball down the field. Are you getting at? You're saying that they're hitting them so much during
During practice.
practices and stuff like that that it's it's got these guys not enjoying it or they're afraid to get hit. I don't know that that's necessarily the case if that's where you're headed with that. I do think, and there's been questions, is there too much ones and ones full speed hitting during practices during the week? That's a good, and I think it's a fair question to ask. I don't know where I land on it. I do think that during the season, I think in camp and stuff like that, you got to go ones and ones, and you have to develop that. You have to develop that kind of competitiveness, right? I don't know that once you get into the season that you should have to continue developing that kind of competitiveness because you got a game every week.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I agree with that.
That's where I come in on it. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm one person, I'm one way or the other. I think Big Bogue says they don't hit enough in practice. But his son is a big hitter.
Yeah.
And he was a defensive player in college. I can see where that would come from that. You know what I mean? I think offensive, hey, Kevin Wilson hated that shit whenever he was there.
So did Mark Mangino.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Bagman, I don't mind to criticize the coach or the players. I'm just saying when you're making a personal attack on the players, that's what I don't like. So we all can criticize, but when you talk about a 17, 18-year-old kid ain't worth a scholarship or he's this and that, that's crazy.
Well, they make it personal a lot of times with it. Bagman, you're not one of these people necessarily, but what he's talking about is when you just come in here and you say silly shit. Like, I got to tell you guys, the people that are talking about Big Bill, I think it's silly talk. I think it is silly talk.
Me too, Jason.
I don't care if it's whether or not you played football or not. I don't give a shit if you played football. It doesn't matter. I played football in high school. I didn't play in college. Doesn't mean I don't know the game. It doesn't mean any of us know or don't know the game. But some people know it better than others.
Yeah.
Coach Ricks, I know, and I mean, we've all done it. I can study film with the best of them. Coach Ricks has studied shit tons of film.
Mm-hmm.
Till my eyes hurt.
Listen, I watched. Look, we used to have to watch a shit ton of film in high school. I mean, that was how our coach was.
God.
And then, whenever I got to Hobbs the first time, Coach Roybal was coaching, and I used to watch defensive film from the defensive side of things. I learned a lot from him like that. I love watching film; it's fun, right? But there's certain things that are going on there. And look, man, it's part of the game here on YouTube to question things.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of the game in journalism to question things. That's what we're here for. And we don't mind but don't expect everybody to have the same opinion as you either.
Exactly.
Because you guys to come in here and just immediately go to Bill Beatonbow, I don't understand it. You guys keep saying Big Bill, but I don't hear you saying much about Seth and Joe John or anybody else in there.
Mm-hmm.
It always goes back to Big Bill with you.
Yeah.
I can talk about a lot of shit. You guys talk about one thing.
Yeah. I went to my alumni this year, and little old me still has the Luther High School record of most interference calls in one game against Meeker. I had 17. The 17th I got ejected because I popped his ass good.
That's
well, here's how it started. The wide receivers, I played free safety on the defensive side of the ball. And that wide receiver from Meeker was fast. I'm talking gazelle speed. And he smoked me for like a 65-yard touchdown. Coach grabs me by the face mask coming off the field. Wilkerson, you do whatever you do to stop him. 10 yards, I'd plow his ass. Flag.
Yeah.
Just doing what I was told.
But laying people out.
Jason, you're muted.
My bad. Benji, we've been talking Seth all night long. No, we haven't. We've talked about a lot of things all night, and I haven't. I barely started defending Bill Beatonbow.
Coach Rich, can you hear Jason?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear.
I can't hear him.
I can hear you.
You guys can hear me, right? Everybody can hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Sooner Cowboys, Benji, I'm not on this. And you know what? you guys know that I am going to defend Big Bill because I think it's crazy talk. I do, period. But I will tell you that whatever's going on. No, we lost Legend. Can you hear me now, Legend?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother.
Okay. Yeah, okay, whatever, man. I'm just going to continue on. Yeah.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Texas and Tennessee, first year in there. Spaghetti, yeah. Fuck Texas. I'll say that too, man. They played a good game. Give them their props for the way they played. But we're here to talk about Oklahoma now. So,
yeah.
Fuck Texas. You know, I don't that shit. And
Hey,
I don't
fellas,
care. You know, go ahead.
I'm going to have to bow out, man. I have
I got to
to
get you. We're not going to stay much longer. But yeah,
get,
Coach, appreciate you coming in.
always, man. Like I said, I apologize, man, for the tantrums that I threw.
No,
and everything.
But, I love that.
No, man, I don't like doing that. I mean, I try to stay cool and calm and everything, man. But I don't like. When I was driving home, my wife's like, "Slow down." I was trying to get home in a hurry to get on this damn podcast, man, because I was like, they saying some shit, man, that I just don't. She's like, "Baby, they're comments. They can say what they want to say." No, the fuck they can't. No, the hell they can't. I mean, excuse me. I'm like, no, they can't. But then I was like, no, she's right. She's right. You know, and these are our fans, and these are family and everything, man. They can say what they want to say. I might not like it, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So that ought to take care of numbnuts there for the next 30 minutes or so, which I won't be here in there that long. Coach Riggs, I appreciate you coming in, my guy.
Always, man. Always, man. Like I said, sorry I was a little bit late, but I'm gonna get on this week, man. And like I said, I got something planned that I'm gonna show you guys. We're doing a 3-day clinic at the YMCA, and we have a couple of NBA players that's gonna be stop by and talk to the kids and everything. So I might bring the podcast there and do something like that and show it. Cool. You know, I just don't know yet.
Curb my language for that,
huh?
I can try to curb my language a little bit for that.
Yep.
I'm not going to do it for these fans that try to piss me off at all costs. So, but I'll do it for you.
It's just for the why. And like I said, man, I'm very well groomed and very well mannered when I go to the YMCA. So I'm a different coach.
I'll do the same. Yeah, I'll be back on in the morning, Benji. Yeah, hey, Coach, man, we appreciate you. Let me know whatever on that, and yeah, all love. Throw them horns down, everybody.
Horns down, man.
Appreciate you.
Hey, Snow Legend, man. Y'all have a good one, man. Stay blessed, man. I'll see you tomorrow, man.
All right, brother.
All right, bud. All right, bye.
Thank you to Coach Ricks from Coach's Talk. You guys are not already subscribers to his program. Make sure you get over there and become a subscriber. Folks, we have had 3,000 viewers now. We have 115 likes. Closer to, we're getting closer to 5%. We're still way low. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Man, we appreciate it.
Come on, guys.
Come on, fellas. Seth experiment is over. Yeah, in the end, guys, I don't know what's next. I would hope that here's my final thought, and I'll let Legend finish it off too, and then we're gonna get out of here too, because I will be back in the morning. My final thought is this: I think that at this point, you have to show your football team that you're doing everything you can to get this right for them. Mm-hmm. It's not about being showing any kind of allegiance to your coaching staff, because you do that, your coaching staff knows what it is to be a member of that coaching staff. And if you're saying the things that we know Brent Venables is saying, it's always for the betterment of the player. The betterment of the program means the betterment of the player. Mm-hmm. And until we see that, you're losing players every second that these guys stay in charge.
Yep.
Because if they don't think that they're going to get developed to that point, then that's a problem. So I would just say that, look, I got love for Joe John. I got love for Seth. I don't think that you can keep these guys anymore. I think they got to go. And it's sorry. I'm sad that it's that way. I'm sorry that it's that way, but we've seen enough. We've seen enough. The sample size is big enough. It's 4 touchdowns in like 3-4 games now. Mm-hmm. Total.
Sure is.
Problem.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I'm going to I agree with everything like you said, and I'm going to add to it. If I was Brent Venables, I would be on the phone with my future recruits that has already committed and telling them don't make your judgment by what you're seeing now, because things are happening. And Brent needs to do his level best to keep these recruits from flipping.
No, you're right, and I think that's the main thing. And listen, the new coach, if you're not doing this, then you're going to end up having to make these phone calls about your job. So
Yeah.
at some point, it becomes about BV, and that's where I'm at on it too. I love BV. I think he's the guy. I do think he's the guy, but he'll prove that he's the guy by making these tough decisions.
Yeah.
By being, not giving a shit that it's gonna have now a bad relationship with this guy or that guy or this guy or that guy. That's just
right.
gonna be how it is. Because
Exactly.
if you care about your players first and foremost, then that's what you have to do. That's just it. That's how it always is going to go. And I think that the question that's out there at this point is, can he run an entire program? And right now you have to say no.
No.
Because he's just rearranged the problems in this program. Now the problem is on the offensive side of the ball. They're doing great on defense. We love seeing a good defense.
We do.
We want to see a good offense too. And it doesn't have to be the same explosive offense, but it has to be serviceable to the point that you can win games when you have a defense that goes out there and can play dominant. And they have played dominant at times. There's times that they're not, but there's also times that they are. And I think that the times that they aren't is due to the fact that they're on the field just way too much. And at some point, you're going to wear out.
Exactly. And also, like we say, Jason, defense wins championships, but that's playing complementary football on all three phases of the game: defense, offense, and special teams.
Yeah.
But defense being the core of winning championships.
Mm-hmm.
But you still got to score.
Got to score some points, man. It's the name of the game. Got to put some points on the board. Got to do it. Yep. All right. Legend, we appreciate you coming in.
Anytime, Jason.
Continue with killing it. You're doing a great job. We appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Hey, man, you've been killing it. Make sure you guys are over there subscribing to his channel. It's time to get into 1,000 too. We just hit the 500 mark, but it couldn't be too fast for him to get to 1,000. Fully monetize him, let him get that advertising revenue, because his show is putting out a bunch of cool stuff. If you hadn't already been over there to check out the Derek White interview, what are you waiting on? You got to check that one out. Good stuff from the 85 Sooner, Derek White. Great conversation again. I loved that. Make sure you guys get over there and check it out.
You can still see I'm still smiling over that one.
Yeah, it was good. A great show, man. Great show. Legend, we'll talk to you soon, man. Thank you a lot for coming in. Folks, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it very much earlier. I know I bust you guys' chops as well. Love it if you just hit that damn like button a little bit more, but I do appreciate the fact that we've had this many folks in the show today. Great.
Give him a dislike.
Yeah, you can even dislike it. That's fine. As long as it's interaction with the stream, it helps. It helps a lot. We appreciate you guys a lot. Hey, Kim, I'd put that in there for you on in the Discord, but I wasn't gonna open it up to Texas fans to come on here and call like that, because I can't do anything about it. Kimberly K, thank you for coming in.
Thank you, First Lady.
Mike J said on his pockets earlier, recruits have called their OU contact and conversations are the opposite. If I was there, the game wouldn't have happened that way. If you were there, well, then what the hell? Why weren't you there? I hope I hope it is the opposite. But I think at some point you need to continue to show that you're doing that. That's just the way I look at it. I don't know. And you got to keep hold of the guys that you have in the house too, or else those recruiting classes don't matter that you've done that already. So
that Kimberly, First Lady, thank you for that. That makes me feel a lot better on that comment.
I do too.
Take care, Kim.
All right, guys. You guys have a great one, and we will see you all on the next one.
Peace.